Welcome to Drill Down Earnings. We have quarterly results from Hewlett-Packard. HPQ is your ticker. This is the business story behind one stock on the move. The stock's moving a little bit. Big, important company that I'm going to take a look at. I'm the Futurum Group Chief Market Strategist, Cory Johnson. That's what I do. Look at these companies, these tech companies, see what they're happening. HP in different parts has been a company I've been following for so very long, and their earnings are so very important because we're looking at what's happening in the PC. We're looking at what way companies are spending money in technology. And certainly the PC is a big part of that. Now, this is the Q2 earnings for this company. They were good. Wall Street likes a beat or a miss, and I guess this was a beat, but maybe because the expectations weren't great. $12.8 billion in revenues. That was down about 1% from the previous year. And operating profits also down a lot, really. GAAP earnings down 42%. Now, the operating profits of about 6%, but on declining revenues, not a great thing for this company. But kind of steady results, that's what we expect from Hewlett-Packard, and that's what we get. Now, the business is really divided into two parts here. Personal systems, high technology, laptops, desktops, the greatest computers known to mankind that sit in front of you, of an individual at least. That business is actually increasing by 3% on a year-over-year basis. But the printing business, which is a little bit more than half of the revenues and a lot more than half of the profits, the printing business is declining, down 8%, and there is the problem here. Specifically as it relates to Asia Pacific, these guys saw real struggles there. The rest of the world is doing okay here. And indeed, they had some positive commentary about what's happening with AI in computers for the second half of this year. But how did the stock react when the numbers came out? Well, initially, stock jumped, then it gave a little bit of that up, ultimately up about 2% in after-hours trading, and the stock came into the day about 6% for the year, so vastly underperforming the S&P 500. But shocker, AI was a point of discussion here. They think that that's a real driver at the end of the year for the sales of PCs. And CEO Enrique Lores talked about how the PC business is already starting to turn around.
We saw, for the first time in 8 quarters, growth in the PC business, and really commercial is the highlight of the quarter that performed even better than we were expecting. It was fairly consistent between North America and Europe and between enterprise and SMB. So probably the key thing is that was not one segment, was across these segments, while we continue to see weakness in Asia, especially in China. Probably some of the underlying factors that we have seen, the drivers of this, is the need to refresh the install base as it has been aging, and especially as we look at the second half, when we look at the funnel of opportunities that we see, that is significantly bigger than what we had last year, and also the fact that we're starting to see some deals driven by Windows 11 refresh. This is what we are reflecting in the projections that we have for the second half, where we expect this momentum to continue.
So the momentum continues. It's kind of what momentum does, right? It continues. So that hopefully is a good thing for PC sales, which is really good for all of technology. But I want to drill down into one number, and I think it's an interesting one. It's one of my favorite Hewlett-Packard factoids that rings true this quarter. That one number that tells us a whole lot, the drill down bite. Right after this.
The Drill Down is brought to you by Futurum Group, where analysts, researchers, advisors, content creators, and marketing experts help business leaders anticipate and understand shifts in their industries and build strategies to leverage disruptive innovation. With deep analysis, Futurum Group's extensive industry experience delivers reliable research and data, thought leadership, and actionable advice to help you with your strategy and go-to-market efforts. Futurum Group.
So Hewlett-Packard has just reported Q2 earnings. The numbers tell us a lot about what's going on in the state of the PC industry, the print industry, and maybe what's to come yet in AI. So $12.8 billion in revenues, while it beat Wall Street expectations, was down about 1%. And profits were way down. Why? Because the company had but sold fewer printers and printing supplies. And yes, that is the crux of the bite. Because the drill down earnings bite tells us one number, tells us a whole lot. 66% of the revenues in the printing business for this company was selling ink and paper. Maybe not that high tech after all. An interesting business. $547 million in the quarter for selling ink and paper. That's 57% of their operating profits. That's Hewlett Packard. All right, Drill Down Earnings, part of 6.5 Media. Check me out at X at Cory TV. You can find me on Drill Down Pod at TikTok and Instagram. And you got to check out the YouTube page for the Futurum Group. Keep following Drill Down Earnings.